Thank you very much for being here today. I have my law partner, Craig Capper, who is assisting me in handling Rasheed's legal matters. And so we've concluded one episode of that now, and obviously we have some more issues we have to address. But let me read to you the statement, the additional statement made by Rashee. I want to acknowledge the serious consequences of the incident that occurred last year. I deeply regret the actions I took that day and the harm they caused to others. I accept full responsibility for my involvement in this incident and today the consequences that I have been provided. This was a moment of immense failure on my part. And I'm truly sorry for the harm experienced by so many, including the victims, their families, my family, the Kansas City Chiefs organization, my teammates, fans, and the community at large. I'm committed to doing everything I can to make amends for my actions over the last year. I've continued to think about the people involved in this incident and focus on my personal and spiritual development. I've had the honor to open up a line of communication with Pastor Richie Butler, a former SMU football player who pastors a local church here in Dallas. My time with him has allowed me to reflect on my faith and so much more. In addition to my spiritual growth, I've also been actively involved in the community, volunteering with local organizations focused on youth outreach. I've had the privilege of speaking with young people about the importance of making responsible decisions and staying away from reckless behavior. These experiences have been humbling and have helped me realize the broader impact of my actions. You know, from the beginning, I stood right here, probably outside there, asking people to don't judge Rashee Rice by this one incident in his life. Don't define it. I want to be real clear that prior to this accident, Rashee Rice had not been involved in criminal activities before, no prior convictions, and worked to be, frankly, a law-abiding citizen just like many of us here today. That's why he's so deeply saddened by the behavior that he was involved in. It was reckless. It was a youth indiscretion that could have resulted in someone losing their life. But I'm glad that many of you in the media recognize that you too have youthful indiscretions and that you do not want to be judged by that one incident in your life. I ask that you not do the same to Rashee. He received a 5-year deferred adjudication on 2 of the cases that were filed. I think there were 8 altogether. The others were dismissed in consultation with the district attorney's office, and needless to say, the victims. He made full medical restitution up front in the plea, making certain that the medical bills that were occasioned by those persons involved in the accident were in fact paid. That's taking responsibility. And any other responsibility that we need to take, he is willing to take also. But again, he regrets the actions that he took on that particular day. He's making certain that young people that he talked to, that he tells them about this particular incident. He didn't try to hide from his involvement. He didn't try to hide from steps that he should have taken in terms of helping people out at the incident to figure out whether or not anyone was seriously hurt. Thank God no one was seriously hurt. I'm talking about death. And so we get this back behind us, and so we're looking forward to doing what we need to do in order to make certain he serves out his probation. And yes, the judge imposed a 30-day jail sentence that will be served out during the 5 years that he's on deferred adjudication. I open it floor up to any questions that you might have.
Could you please walk us through, Mr. Royce, about how this plea deal went down? Who contacts who, and how did it go down?
I don't understand the question. I mean, typically, the district attorney office had a case. I represent him, we get together, we talk about it, and work, figure out what's in the best interest of the victims, in the best interest of the defendant, and we come up with a recommendation. So that's kind of how it works. Bobby, what are you doing?
Trying to keep her from getting bit by a mosquito. But Attorney, last April when we gathered here, you said that at one point Mr. Rice would face the community and speak for himself. I appreciate the statement. Is there still a plan for him to speak?
Yes.
And if so, when?
I can't tell you when, but there is still a plan.
You've been working with him over the past year. Beautiful statement. What have you seen change in this young man in the year that you've been working with him?
What I've seen personally change is the individual. You see, I mean, think about this. All of us, he's 23 years old, okay? All of us have had youthful indiscretions. I think this incident scared him straight, okay, in terms of his behavior and the impact it could have on others. So I think it scared him straight, and from that vantage point, he now understands that he has to be more responsible and accountable for his behavior.
Can you speak to the jail sentence, the jail part of this? We were hearing that he might be able to take it at different times. Can you kind of clear that up and how that works?
Sure,
and what he can expect in jail?
I can't tell you what he can expect in jail, but
Preferential treatment, perhaps?
come on, not very serious whether he's going to get that. But in terms of the 30 days, the judge understands that he has a work schedule, and that we'll be able to work around his work schedule in making certain that he serves the 30 days. In addition, there's 160 hours of community service. Some of that community service, and I've offered to the district attorney's office, and I'm pretty certain they will accept it, him making the PSAs concerning, driving recklessly. Again, he is apologetic for all of the things that he's done as relates to this particular incident, and wants to make certain, and now that he has a voice, not only as an athlete, but having been someone that has caused an accident like this, where death could have occurred. Okay, he understands that someone could have died. He understands that. And from that vantage point, I've seen him grow and understand the consequences of his behavior.
Will you please address critics who say that he got off with a slap on the wrist?
No. Next question.
You made reference to Mr. Rice paying the medical bills of the people who were injured in the incidents. I guess the DA statement said that was a requirement of the plea deal. You had said that he paid it up front.
I can barely hear you.
So you made reference to him paying the medical bills.
Right.
The DA statement had said that was a requirement of the plea agreement. I guess you said that he had made sure he paid them up front. Could you kind of clear up if it was something that he was kind of doing in his own volition, or if that was in fact a requirement of the agreement?
I think it was a combination of both. He was doing it of his own volition because he was going to do it anyway. Okay, and it was a condition of the plea, which was in fact a reasonable condition of the plea. But he was going to do it anyway. Yes. You got to remember, this time last year, I stood here and told you he took full responsibility, and he still takes full responsibility for his actions. Okay.
Thank you.
Does Mr. Rice already have like a set date on when he plans to serve that jail time?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Does he have like a date for when he plans to serve the jail time? I know he has to do it within 5 years, but does he have a date?
No, we haven't gotten that far yet. Well, and see, he has to go to training camp, and I haven't looked at the dates for the training camp and all of that. And so we'll take a look at the schedules and make certain that we, to the extent that we're going to make it public, we'll make it public.
I think training camp begins on Monday. Has he told you that he plans on being there?
He plans on being there.
Does the plea deal stipulate where he has to serve that time?
It'll be here. It'll be here in Dallas County. Dallas County Jail.
Dallas County Jail?
Yes. It doesn't stipulate that, but I'm pretty certain that's where it will be.
Mr. Royce, can you please just, for those of us who just remember part of this situation, I guess one of the big questions that a lot of people have is yes, you can cause an accident, and yes, it was a terrible accident. Why did he leave?
Why did he leave the accident?
Yes.
The fact is he should not have left, okay? He now recognizes that he should not have left. He should have been there to make certain that the people who were there were in fact okay. He recognized it was a bad decision on his part to do it, okay?
But
So-
has he said why? What was his objective? Why?
I'm not going to get into a lot of conversations, but he recognized it was a bad decision on his part, okay?
Is that where you've seen the growth in him from the time that it happened to how much you've spoken to him now?
Yeah, in part, yes. I mean, the reality is that being involved in an incident like this, where you go to penitentiary for an extended period of time, and I mean, let's make no qualms about it. Rashee Rice is a very talented individual that has a bright future in the NFL, okay, and he has the ability to be able to take care of his family. The generations yet unborn, depending upon how he performs. He recognized that all of that was at risk, and also his liberty to end up having to go to the penitentiary for an extended period of time. As an example, if he violates the probation in this particular case, he could get up to 10 years. Okay? And he understands that there's a judge there that will be watching his pretty much every move. To the extent that he does something that runs afoul of the probation, there'll be consequences. He understands that. And as a young person, in understanding that, he understands that he also has 2 children, 2 young boys that he has to raise. So I'm pretty certain that he's not going to sacrifice that by doing something stupid.
Senator, has he spoken with Roger Goodell, and where does the investigation with the NFL stand?
I can't get into that right now.
And I'm sorry, we missed this, so my apologies if you, your original statement on the fact that he got this great plea deal.
Is that what you consider?
Well, I mean, considering what you faced with an ag assault case like this, typically you could face up to life in prison, and he's getting probation, so some might think that it's a little bit of a life sentence.
Your question is what?
So my question is, your reaction to and how y'all worked out this deal?
Well, I work with the prosecutor. We put the interests of the state, of the city, of the victims, of Rasheed Wallace, looked at his criminal history background and figured that this is the best outcome for him.
What is he saying about this, or what is his reaction?
He is, again, contrite. Okay? The man has never been faced with something like this in a courtroom. So he's contrite and recognized that he could have killed someone out there. He could have killed someone out there. And so let me be real clear about this. When he left the scene, not figuring out whether someone else was injured or dead, he recognized that was a stupid mistake. Okay? And if he had to do it all over again, he wouldn't have done that. And we don't want him to do it all over again, or anyone else in this state to do it all over again. But the fact is that he has learned from that particular incident, like many of you have learned from some of your youthful indiscretions. He's learned from this. The difference is that his profile is higher than most of us at that stage of our life, and therefore whatever he does is magnified.
Were the victims' families consulted in this plea deal, and how do they feel about, and what was the negotiation with them? Because
I think you have to talk to the district attorney's office about that.
what would he have to say to the victims and the families?
I'm sorry.
What does he have to say to the victims and their families?
Again, he is, as we said from the very beginning, he apologizes for his actions and recognizes the seriousness of them, and will work to do everything in his power to make him as whole as possible.
Excuse me, and Rebecca, we do have a written statement from Rashee, so we will pass it out
Okay.
at the end.
What happens now with this young man? Any cases that are pending, anything like that? Can you speak to that?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What happens now with this young man, himself, and any cases that are still pending?
There are no cases pending.
Civil lawsuits?
There are several lawsuits that we're working on. Are there any other questions?
Where is he now? No? Okay. I don't know. I don't agree.
Yeah.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.